Welcome. You've splash landed into this Prosecco-laden podcast, straight into the woo-woo pool with the crew of Ohm-g. We're just a simple group of tragically imperfect and highly empathic BFFs, exploring a wide range of atypical topics with humor, grace, and curiosity. This is Ohm-g. Welcome. Today's topic, superpowers. We're not talking about a red cape or a golden lasso. We're talking about the trait that makes you you. How do you light up a room? You're here with the crew of
Ohm-g, the podcast. Welcome back, y'all.
This is Brenda.
And this is Lynn.
Hey, y'all, it's Aaron.
and Chandra and Camille.
And we are happy to be back again. Full disclosure, this is our second episode of the day. And we have 4 dogs in the room. And we've already had snacks and Prosecco. So
It's been amazing.
4 dogs, 2 bottles of Prosecco, and a partridge in a pear tree.
right.
I think it's 3 bottles, but whatever.
And I beg to differ. I do have a cape.
That's right. You can have a gold lasso. Whoosh, whoosh.
Only Christian knows.
That's right. Gotta catch them somehow.
So let's talk superpowers. So what do you think your superpower is? Like, think about this at home as you're listening to this. What is the way that you fulfill your purpose with your superpower? We were discussing this a little bit downstairs right before we came up to start recording. And Lynn was like, well, I don't know what my superpower is. And so we're like, well, we should tell you then. Lynn is an amazing entertainer. She always has food.
Because I like to eat.
Well,
Hostess with the mostest forever.
you're like, I'm going to come by and, we're going to go for a hike or we're going to do something. And she's got this whole spread out.
Yeah.
And a gift for everyone.
Because you have to eat. Everybody's hungry. You can't hike without food and Prosecco.
She is one of the most thoughtful people and is very, I know, she's like, I didn't sign up for this. She's like crawling out of her skin at being complimented. But truly, like you have, it's a superpower. It's this ability, but it is a superpower of making people feel so welcome and loved and seen when they're in your presence. And I feel it in your voice. Like when I listen to our podcast episodes, even though we've lived it the first time, I like listening to it because I think we're fucking funny. But Lynn in particular, there's something about your voice where it's like an exhale.
Oh,
It's like coming home.
It's like cornbread with honey dripped over it.
right.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Or banana pudding on a hot day. No, salad. Sorry, I was like, banana pudding didn't sound right. Banana salad.
Yeah. And I think Camille's superpower is her humor.
Very much so.
Like, how much do we laugh?
Mm-hmm.
Very quick.
Yeah.
She's very quick-witted.
It's your wit, but it's also this ability to, you're my childless sister, so one of them. There's this like mama bear is like the term that's coming to my mind. Energy though about you that I feel is a superpower. It's this protectiveness about your people.
If I love you, I got you.
Yes.
And don't jack with you.
Yes. And you feel that.
Oh, yes.
And because of that, you want Chameleonaire on your side because she will mess you up if you're not. Like it is just protection energy.
And you'll never see it coming, but that's another episode. How about Chandra?
While we stay on the topic of Camille.
Yes.
But I feel like you do that with your humor.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if you see anybody in the room, like if it's getting too serious, if it's the topic's going down the wrong road or whatever, you're going to interject something that you come up with. I don't know where it comes from, but it's going to be so on topic.
Perfectly
and so
timed.
rightly timed, exactly, that the whole room just bursts out laughing. And then it's like, what were we talking about?
The energy completely shifts.
It completely shifts.
Which,
Mission complete.
to our previous conversation.
A
That's one of
very
your superpowers.
stable energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cute.
Earth sign.
Our one and only Earth sign. We need you, Cam.
Thank you.
Otherwise, we're just literally a forest fire of 2 airs and 2 fires.
But my gosh, grab the popcorn. It's fun to watch.
Great.
Well, the fire can pop the popcorn.
Exactly. But yeah, levity. I like to think I bring levity to a situation. And yeah, I would definitely say that's my superpower. And thank you all for acknowledging.
Yeah. And
Brenda's superpower is matchmaking.
I was, the same.
Connecting.
Conduit.
People. Mhm.
Seeing two people totally separately, totally in two different places, going, you need to meet my friend so and so.
Mhm. Very
And
much
bring
so.
people together.
Mhm.
In fact, it's how this happened. It's kind of how we all met each other and how the podcast came to be was through Brenda saying, oh, well, you would need to meet this person. And y'all did, what if we did a little group together? Like you're a conduit, you're a connector. It's really a superpower. And just some of it's your Gemini, but it's, girl, you are fuck around and find out. If you looked up that in the dictionary, like there would be a picture of Brenda Sue sitting right there, like
Aries moon.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I have to tell you too, I had a reading with Lynn a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about that whole, one chance. You don't remember it, Lynn? 'Cause
No,
you
I
were
don't
reading.
remember.
But she was like,
anal.
what does it mean? One chance only. And I'm like, oh, that's probably how I am. Like, you got one chance.
Yeah.
I might give you a second chance if I really like you.
Yeah.
But she was like, you need to decide if you want to come in on 2 wheels. So that's been helpful to for me to think about, do I really want to blow this shit up? Or do I want to come at it calmly?
He'd
So-
make a good president, I think.
Would it be worth it to find out later?
Right?
She's the epitome of wakes up every morning and decides if she's going to choose violence.
Yeah. And most often she doesn't.
I don't.
But there's always that option.
Yeah. And sometimes you need to go at life in those ways. And, you said something else to me, Lynn. It's been I've really been thinking about it. And it was talking about judging other people. And I do that. I admit I'm a little judgmental.
We're all human.
We all do it.
Cheers, everyone.
But then I think the other people are judging me the same way.
Mhm.
And so I've been thinking about that a lot. Lynn superpowers her readings, y'all. Her Akashic Records readings are amazing.
Yeah.
But I also think it's part of who I am. I like to understand people,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to understand why people do the things that they do, and where is it coming from? It's something in my why I was interested in psychology and
What
sociology.
motivates you?
Yeah. So I think part of my judging is also part of that part of me that's wants to understand why people are doing the things they're doing. Is it coming from some childhood bullshit that they went through, or from some experience that they've had? And yeah, so I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about the reading that I had with you a couple of weeks ago and really processing the things that you told me and helped me to see. And then whenever I feel myself judging or thinking that somebody's judging me, I'm like, okay, is that me? Wait,
Did I also
is that
talk
me?
about your open heart?
Oh,
Because you do have a very open heart. I think that's one of your superpowers.
thanks.
Yeah.
I think that's part of you also trying to, instead of making a snap judgment about someone or why they might be doing or saying the thing that they're doing, you see the good in them. And so because you see the good in them, you're thinking, well, what is the reason that you're saying this? Or what is the reason that you're acting like this? Because I know at your core, that's not you. So is it, like you said, your childhood? Is it a relationship trauma? Is it finances? What is it? So that you can make sense of it so that it gets back to the core of the good of who they are, which is such a rare thing that the world needs more of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then if I see that that's who you are,
Bye.
yeah,
Bye-bye.
Okay.
The light
See ya.
goes off.
That's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
See you later, alligator.
Because your time is too precious. That energy doesn't need to be
Yeah.
around your own, and nor should it be.
Chandra's like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's why she knows.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you are, as we're pivoting, okay, over to Chandra Caroline. Yeah, I'm trying to think to narrow it down.
He's trying to choose the words. So
No. I'm trying to, when it comes to superpowers, narrow it down because there are so many, I feel like, in all of us. But one of them is your ability, and you're going to be like, okay, no, but your ability to overthink things, because I'm the same way. You overthink things. And by the time it gets to what it's supposed to be or a deadline or whatever. Like it couldn't have come out any more perfect to those of us that are seeing or receiving it, but you're still in your head about like, oh, I should have fixed this, or oh, this part was wrong. Like, so I guess the perfectionist in you really is a superpower, even though I know that it has like a really like dark
side.
Yes, it's like maybe that's some shadow work too, but it the perfectionist and overthinker in you ends up really, even if you just listen to like a quarter of what she has to say, really benefits because you're just good at anything that you do. Like whether it's writing or creating journals or books or speaking or just listening to someone or sending them a message about something that made you think of them. Like you help people feel seen as your superpower.
You chop through the woods to get to the meat of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Laser focus.
And she makes some good egg salad, y'all.
She does.
She does. But also, Chandra has a deep love.
Yeah.
When you can get there. But she doesn't let you in easily. And that's okay because we've all had trauma that keeps us from that. But I think one of her superpowers, just one of them, is the ability to love on such a deep level.
Yes.
And still be selective.
Exactly.
Yes. Selectively love.
Yeah.
Because not everybody.
And some people would take that in a negative way, but no.
It's not a
There's
negative.
something to be said for keeping your circle tight, even if the people that orbit in your space have big circles.
Yeah.
What falls your way is meant to.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's almost, as you were speaking, Kim, I saw like Chandra chooses her tribe. And once she has them, it's almost like back to birds. What I'm seeing is like this angel over this little nest of baby birds and she's just sprinkling glitter on them. Like it's just like that's Chandra. That's Chandra.
Glitter bird.
ADHD.
It is.
But like that's you. As you just make them feel showered in love and grace and understanding.
And she loves some glitter too.
I do love some glitter.
But one thing we tend to be neglecting, I think, in this conversation is our spiritual superpowers. I mean, Brenda mentioned, that I read the Akashic Records, but Brenda is a hell of a medium.
Yes.
And Aaron, damn, y'all, he's a hell of a channel. Chandra, hell of a reader. Camille, same, even though she'll say she isn't. Camille feels things very deeply.
I'm a feeler.
She's a feeler.
Thinker feeler.
And she gets those intuitive hits too.
She does.
Yeah. She just doesn't consciously try to.
Yeah.
No,
But it
totally agree.
it comes.
Yeah.
And Camille's the type, she may not get a lot of them, but the ones that she gets are like bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like,
And she always says during Spirit Circle, she's like, I'm just the battery. I'm like, bitch, no, you're sitting over there channeling just as much as the rest of us.
Totally.
Just not recognizing it because it's natural.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll take a sip of Prosecco.
That's right. I'm already.
And I'll join you because I'm in the spotlight and I'm a Scorpio rising.
She's in hashtag Virgo hell.
So let's talk about someone else. Aaron.
I need more Prosecco if we're going to do this.
Funny and witty and kind and adventurous and boisterous. And this man will goose you. And I don't mean reach out and grab your hiney. He is going to goose you mentally. And I love him for that.
I love you, Kim.
I love his poetry. I love his kind heart. I love his impulsivity.
Yeah, you kind of come at everything with an open heart and like excitement.
Sagittarius.
And sometimes I'm like, whoa, 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 let's pump the brakes, Aaron. Let's pump the brakes because, my practical side. But then.
Which I need. That's why I have so many Geminis around. They're really, really close to me. I feel like because y'all are like, bitch. Okay. You sure you want to move out of the country? You sure you want to adopt a child? You sure you want to buy a house in your hometown? Like things that need to be brake to be pumped.
These are all valid points.
Yeah.
But we got your back, whatever happens.
That's right.
And also, like, I appreciate that about you, that you're so, like, you almost come at everything with, like, this childhood wonder and awe, like, oh, my God, this could happen, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, but, this could happen, too.
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was going to say. I feel like your superpower is that you're precious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of people don't ever get to experience having that precious energy in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much what Brenda was saying. It's just like, can't you see the opportunities? They're all around us. We could do this.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah.
And you bring everybody else up
Yeah.
to that. And I mean, I've never met anyone like you.
You're exactly
That's
who
why I
we
love you.
want in front of our children and our neighbors'
100%.
children every day. Because it's not me and it's definitely not you.
I know, and I'm like,
For sure.
does it have to be me? You know, like, is there?
We voted yes.
I will. Apparently, my soul did too before coming back to Earth School. Thank you all.
Yeah. And I'll just say my piece about Aaron. If you've never been around him, when the OMG podcast starts having like gatherings, come meet Aaron because his energy is like so joyous and it's natural. He might tell you that he wears a mask, and sometimes we all wear masks, but if you're in his presence, you can just like feel the joy like bubbling.
It's
out.
it's infectious.
It is
And
infectious.
for the people that know you,
yeah.
we can tell when it is coping humor.
Mhm.
I mean, you say you use your humor to mask,
Sure. Yeah. Not around y'all, but yeah.
and that may be true, but it's not all you use it for. Like it's already there. It's already authentic.
Yeah.
You may make it serve
Yeah.
when it needs to, but when it's authentic, it's wonderful.
I'll agree with that.
And everybody who meets you loves you. And if they
really
don't,
do.
then there's something in them. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I will think, first of all, now that I'm bathed in y'all's love again, thank you. That feels amazing.
Aaron's like
And-
the pocket crystal that you love. You just like hold it in your little hand and you just put it in your pocket and you take it with you.
Can you
I
grab
gave you a
it?
crystal tonight and it's in my bra right now.
did.
Lapis lazuli.
Thank you. That feels amazing. And when I think about it, like they're like people who, like if my name were brought up, they'd be like, oh, you know,
Do they need to be punched?
They do.
Because the hater's going to hate.
Hate. That's right. Taylor Allison Swift. Her new album comes out this Friday and I'm so excited. I almost took off work and I was like, oh, we're going on a field trip with the kids. I'm like, God dang it. You know, like
I think his glutes just came off the couch.
he did a little bit. But when I think about people who, like, if my name were brought up, they don't like me or might not have something nice to say, whatever. And I think they're probably, I could count them on one hand. Jealousy.
You change the energy in a room. Not everyone cottons to that.
Yeah.
And they're jealous.
To the female Leos out there. I'm just kidding. But it is a pattern. I don't know what that is. There's something, but it's like their son, like female Leo. There's 3 out of probably 5 people that I can think of that like.
Well, Leos want to be in the spotlight typically. So if you are
2
also
queens in a room, come on.
yeah.
Right. It's like 2 gays in an office. Nothing is getting done. You know, that little meme. Like you have 1 gay in an office. Oh, it runs like a well-oiled machine. It's the fit. You have 2, nothing's getting done. We're sitting gossiping, shooting the shit, going on espresso runs, you know.
Talking about Taylor Allison Swift.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you. That actually made me feel really good because I don't think I've thought about that before with those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That 3 out of 4 or 5 are female Leos.
Yeah.
So that makes it because I don't.
You don't try to be in the spotlight,
No.
but
no.
your energy just draws
You
people
just
in.
can't help it. Yeah.
So I have a question for everybody. For people that are listening and wondering, what is my superpower? How do you think you find that out? How did you find that out in life?
It's because y'all told me.
I feel it right now.
I have
Well,
zero
For the people
idea.
that can't come to these podcast recordings, and
Ask your friends. If you don't have anybody, ask us.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what I was
Great
going to say. It's like find the person that you feel like loves you the most in this world and ask them because they will tell you.
And also, I think think about when you feel really good doing something.
Yes.
What is it that you're doing? Then that's probably your superpower. Whatever brings you joy or excitement.
So obviously mine would be running my mouth.
brings me. Mine is not fit for this podcast. Anyone else?
Bow, bow, bow.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
That's-
I know. I think that's right, Brenda. I think whatever lights you up And if you're doing something that lights you up, that's your superpower.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel good to cook for your neighbors, then that's your superpower. If it's, I'm trying to think something off the top of my head, and sometimes my mind don't work that quick.
Well, it's like it's like the whatever you're doing when you feel the most like yourself.
Yes. Your authentic self.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever makes you feel authentic.
Where you feel the most comfortable in your skin that you ever do. It's that thing.
Where everything else is shut out. Like you're not focused on your thoughts or any sort of stress.
And it doesn't have to be anything you're good at.
No, it's just something you enjoy from your heart of hearts. And I think to Brenda's point, like I love hearing each other's like versions of superpowers because we don't ever see ourselves the way that we see each other. But for those like super introverted people or people who don't feel like they have a big community or people in their lives that could see that in them, it's like those, whatever it is that you do that you get lost in doing. Like you don't even realize that the time is happening. It could be cooking, it could be baking, it could be writing, it could be exercise, whatever it is. That's probably one of your superpowers. And you may not feel like you're making a difference doing it, but I promise you that if time is passing and you're not realizing it and you feel in alignment with the divine, you're making ripple effects.
Yeah. And it could just be like Camille, we were talking about earlier about talking or smiling at her neighbors as she's walking the dog. And that can be a superpower, like just bringing a smile into somebody's day, even if they don't realize it.
Just shining your light.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, yesterday, I made my neighbor some food because she's dealing with medical issues. And so I made her some food and took it over there and sat with her for a minute. And I felt good the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But that was just like serving someone. And so I think that is one of my superpowers that I can accept about myself is like, I will help you if you need help.
Yeah.
Y'all call me.
Oh, we will.
Y'all know.
When the body needs to be buried, you call Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I have a shovel.
That's right.
Too.
And the neighbor also felt that. Like also felt very good and cared for and thought about and eating your delicious food, whatever you cooked or baked.
Oh, I made her a quiche.
Baby quiche Lorraine. I love a quiche. But I mean, it's so thoughtful. Like not only that you thought about her, it's not like calling or sending a card, which those are totally fine too, especially if distance is involved. But like cooking for someone is like, maybe that's my fat and sassy side. But there's something about cooking for and sitting with them and just listening and saying, hey, you can reach out if you need something. I'm here for you,
Food is always comfort. So anyone that would think to do
food is love. Look at me if you don't believe it.
And it's such a simple gesture. So your superpower doesn't have to be you wearing a cape and flying through the air and like saving everybody. Like it can be something as simple as, I love you. Here's a quiche.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the title of this episode. I love you. Here's a quiche.
Well, I like that example, and I'm about to give one that I experienced recently, and then I'm going to ask everyone else to give an example of something that took you back. A couple of days ago, there's a lady at work that I've been training, and she's grown her wings and flown, and she's done really well. The day goes by, and all of a sudden I get a call from her, and I'm like, hey, what do you need? Oh, nothing. She goes, I just feel like my day's not complete unless I talk to you.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my gosh,
that's amazing.
Fly, baby bird. She just wanted to hear my voice and get some reassurance. And that just made my day. It took me out of my busy, hardcore zone and just made me feel like, oh, you made a difference.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So I get it, Lynn.
I love that.
Anyone else?
You make a difference all the time, Camille, and the people around you.
You do. Right
You truly do.
Even like on a practical level, like on the podcast, like when we're all talking about something and shooting the shit and we start to kind of go off in a totally different direction, you're like, question for everyone. And it's like, yes, structure, like
that's my golden lasso, bitch.
Yes, that's right. Won't pulling me towards her.
Herding you heifers in.
Yeah.
Brenda, say, what about you?
What about me?
What about you? What do you think you're, what would you name?
What's an example?
What's an example?
Y'all, you can't put me on the spot. If I get tested and they ask me a question
Can and will just
right there, it's like I just go blank in the brain.
She still don't have her driver's license because she can't determine if it's a V or a Y on that damn eye check. Just kidding.
No, I feel like connecting with people and connecting people is definitely my superpower. And
100%.
yeah, and it makes me so happy to do that. And I'm so happy that Lynn said, Brenda Sue, that day of the cacao ceremony, and that we're all sitting here together. Yeah,
That was quite, I had a fangirl moment that day.
that was so cute.
And look at you up here on stage. with
I know,
us.
trying to take over. Just kidding.
Aries.
Up in the attic. Yeah. And I love to cook for people too. Like that gives me a lot of pleasure whenever I really have time to actually cook, plan something.
Yeah, I'm bringing those together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And doing it for somebody who's in need. Like that feels really good to me too.
Yeah,
It's a love language.
It is.
it is.
Kitchen witch.
I'll take you to lunch, but that's it.
That's also a love language. What about you, Lynn?
What
An example?
What about me?
Oh, it's like a little. Well, I guess that example recently with your neighbor.
yeah, with
but was
my
there a
neighbor.
different one you can think of, or is that kind of?
Not right off top of my head. I can't because I'm like Brendan. I can't be put on the spot.
See?
Yeah.
Like I had that loaded.
Yeah.
But
That
you keep
one was-
talking, it'll come to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a minute. Let's go to Aaron. And
Oh God.
over to you, Aaron. What do you think? No, he can't think either.
I know I'm having brain farts as well. I think
He's got the egg salad.
I got the egg salad. Our Seabolt stomachs, Brenda. I think I don't know. I think part of it is like I'm thinking about this past week, for example, and I think so much of it is with my students. It gets on my last damn nerve. And if any of you are listening, why are you listening to this? But also get quiet. For 6 years now, I've taught 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, and they're feral cats in middle school. And so they're hormonal and they're crazy and they're loud and everything is of equal importance and on a 100.
Smell like goats.
They smell so bad. I just stopped in the middle of reading an article today and I said, guys, can we talk about deodorant? Because someone in here is not wearing it. And I'm not going to call anyone out because I don't know who it is because it just is a smog. But I want to let you know that if you don't have it, talk to your PE teacher. Okay. Talk to your parents. Please make sure you're using soap. Like, it's just ridiculous.
But we digress.
We digress. Sorry. So, anyways.
Thanks, Camille.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Camille. For
Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Goats.
So, I feel like. That's right. That was one of my kids.
Sorry.
So, I feel like so often kids like. How are we going to bring it back? You know what I mean? We're just making a lot of farm animal noises. Talking about levity.
Blame the Prosecco. Aaron, you were saying?
Sorry. I think being a space for or a personality for people to be who they are instead of like every team of teachers I've worked on is very like strict and by the book and structured and it needs to be quiet and they da. And so like I try to implement some of those things and it just doesn't work. And so I try to tell myself like, even though it's kind of bad for my sanity, this is the maybe hour and some change a day where this kid, especially those that have difficult home lives, like get to come in and just be a kid and just be silly. And so like the other day, this girl's mom called her in the middle of like a district test and told her that her grandmother died in the hospital.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, sorry. That's one of my superpowers, bringing down a room. And so I thought, oh my God, like, first of all, it's horrible, right? Like, and I gave her a hug and talked with her and like sent her up to counseling. And then I thought, that little girl is going to remember for the rest of her life when she found out her grandma died. She was in Mr. Behringer's class. Like, why is that on me, right? So then a few minutes pass and I'm like, okay, we're going to like process that trauma and just keep going with my day because it's only 8 a.m. and I'm here till 3:30.
Jeez.
So the door of my classroom jiggles like as if you needed a sound effect. And this other little girl looks at me like dead ass eye to eye and goes, "That's my sleep paralysis demon. His name is Bob." And I looked at her and I said, "Nope, Bob can stay out in the hallway." And she just laughed. So I think just like seeing people and accepting their ridiculousness, like just, I don't know, that I'm 4 glasses in. That made probably no sense to anyone. And we had goat noises and a dog fight almost break out that Brenda had to referee. So hopefully that made sense to you, those.
Who gets a sleep paralysis demon in middle school?
She raises her hand.
Doesn't get a sleep less.
Well, that's what I thought too. I was like, what a mature thing to say, but also, why'd you name him Bob? Like, there's so many fun names we come up with. Bob, the sleep paralysis demon. Okay.
I named my protector guy John.
That's not true. John named himself.
Well,
sorry.
It sounds like it's Chandra's turn.
It does. Speaking of John.
It does. And when y'all come back to me, I have one. Oh, we got to wrap up. So. Sorry.
Wrap it up.
Okay. Only because this just occurred to me this week and just happened. I did not realize how much I channel.
Yes.
Mhm.
I didn't
Word.
realize how ingrained it was.
Yeah.
And when I said my superpower is running my mouth, I was literally, if someone asks me a question and I start talking, things that I haven't thought of just occur to me. And I'll go down a trail and that'll lead me to something else. And then it'll lead me to something else. And then all of a sudden I see the light in people's eyes just go, oh yeah. Well, I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah.
And those are the moments when I feel most like myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so this week it was like, oh, okay. After 5 years of fighting with it, okay, now I get it. Now I get it.
No.
Yeah.
Like a dire maker or a light giver.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you.
The light bringer, like Lucifer. I'm just joking.
Welcome to the stage, Lucy Fur.
No, Chandra really is the light bringer.
She is.
That's a superpower. It really is. Yeah.
Mhm.
And just quickly, I'll buy y'all a rock. I'm just saying, my nephew was here for a few days and I said, oh my goodness, let's go to the crystal store. Well, actually, he said, let's go to the crystal store because he knew I was going to buy him a rock. So that's also my superpowers. I will buy people rocks.
Yeah.
I will buy you a rock.
Buy you
I will
a rock.
buy you a rock.
And I throw it at you.
That's right.
I mean, maybe.
Well, I don't even know how to end this one.
Maybe the superhero noise. I see the bat signal outside. Just kidding.
That's the Prosecco signal.
It is. We'll talk about this more off in a minute because Chandra saw my nasty face that came out of my. Anyways,
It's an
The nasty face that came out of my
it
mouth.
came out of my mouth. If you, those of you at home, think about your superpower and let us know what it is. We love you guys for listening. And if you are listening on Apple or Stitcher or Spotify or wherever you get your podcast, please rate and leave us a review. Share it with friends or family that you feel like it might resonate with so we could grow this community even further. And check us out on Instagram if you don't already at Ohm-g Podcast. And we can't wait to see you on the next episode.
And if you're listening on Prosecco, you're our kind of people.
Amen and amen. Cheers, girl. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Up, and away.
Thank you for joining us today. Please follow and subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave a review. It's so easy to do and such a huge help for us. We appreciate your interactions so much. Want to join us at our table? Make sure to check out our YouTube channel and join our Facebook community. If you've enjoyed this content and wish to support us, take a look at our Patreon page. All information and links will be in our podcast description. Catch you next time.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM. Women's voices amplified.